Okay, so surface area of rectangular prisms is technically a sixth grade standard, but what they're doing is introducing a formula that is excellent for our eighth grade level here. And that is that the surface area is 2 parentheses length times width plus length times height plus width times height. Okay, and so really where this comes from, length times width is the top and bottom of the rectangular prism. Okay, so you have two of those, right? One on the bottom, one on the top. Um, length times height, mm, length times height is the front and the back of the box. Okay, one on the front, one on the back. That makes two of these. And then width times height, that would be the sides. Okay, and you've got two sides. So side faces. Okay, one on each side, one on the left, one on the right. So that's where this formula comes from. And if we're going to use it, what we're going to do is substitute in the length, the width, and the height. Okay, so 2 times length times width would be 18 times 12. And then length times height would be 18 times 8. And then width times height would be 12 times 8. Okay. And then what I'm going to do here now is follow the order of operations. I've got a grouping symbol here, and within the grouping symbol, I'm going to multiply before I add. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is multiply the terms 18 times 12, 18 times 8, all of those. And I'm going to do those in a calculator. So I get 216 for 18 times 12. Let's do 18 times 8. 144. And then 12 times 8, 96. Let me get another color for that. All right. Okay, so that was my first step. And guys, when you do these, do them on scratch paper and just do them one step at a time because they have a lot of steps. And if you mess up and you can find your mistake, then you don't have to erase everything. Okay, so I did the multiplication step. Now I'm going to add 216 plus 144 plus 96. Okay, 459 is what I'm getting. Ooh, maybe that was a 6. Let me check. 456. All right, grouping symbols are done. SA is for surface area, by the way. Surface area. And then now I'm just going to multiply and I'll be finished. So 456 times 2. And I get 912. These are inches. So surface area would be measured in square inches because you're just covering the surfaces there. Okay, that's a two-dimensional kind of thing. All right, let's look at this next one. A roll of wrapping paper measures 25 inches by 405 inches. The boxes being wrapped are 16 inches by 14 inches by 6 inches. How many complete boxes can be wrapped with one roll of wrapping paper? So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna find the area of this because that'll tell me how many square inches of wrapping paper I have. Okay. Um, Now I'm gonna look at this as length times width times height. Okay. And I'll use my surface area formula for that. And you guys, this is a formula I know because all it does here is take every combination of the letters you can make. So you could have of two letters. So you could have length with height. You could have width with height. Okay. Or you could have length with width. Length with width. Okay. And they can go in any order we want because we're going to multiply first and then add, and both those operations are commutative. This is the area of the wrapping paper. Length times width. 25 times 405. I'm going to go ahead and do that in the calculator. This will give me the total amount of wrapping paper that I have. Oh, go away, myself, dude. Okay, 25 times 405. Okay, 10,125 square inches of wrapping paper. This is the total paper. All right, let's go ahead and find the surface area using the formula. So if I have length times height, that would be 16 times 6. If I had width times height, that would be 14 times 6. And if I had length times width, that's going to be 16 times 14. So what I want you to see here is that I have 3 chunks of things that I need to multiply before I add them, okay? That's why I did them in different colors like that. So 16 times 6 is getting me 96. Let me do that in that purple color. 96 here. Okay, 14 times 6 is 84. And then 16 times 14 is going to be 224. Okay. And don't forget, the reason that I am doing the things I'm doing in this order is because of the order of operations. Okay, right now I'm working inside the grouping symbols, and inside I'm going to follow the order of operations inside of the grouping symbols. So I'm going to multiply before I add. Let's go ahead and add now. 96 plus 84 plus 224. This is 404. Now I can multiply that times 2 and I'll get 808 square inches each box. Okay, So this is all the surface area that needs to be wrapped. SA is for surface area. Okay. So if I have a total need of 808 square inches and I have a total area of 10,125, I want to know how many of those boxes I can wrap up. Okay, so if this whole thing is 10,125 inches squared, I want to know how many times I can cut out an area of 808 to wrap one of those boxes. Okay, so really I'm asking myself, how many times can I fit this 808 square inches of paper into this big sheet of wrapping paper? Okay, and so on. So times how many? If I don't know how many times I'm multiplying, I can divide to figure that out. So I'm going to go ahead and take 10,125 and I'll divide it by 808. Okay, so I'm getting 12 point something. Okay, 12.58. 53, 12.53, I think it was. Okay, so when they say here, how many complete boxes, what this 0.53 means is this is half covered. Okay, we don't want to give somebody a package that's only halfway covered in wrapping paper because there'd be no surprise there. You'd be able to tell what it was. So we're just going to say 12 there. All right, that's it.